You know what men love? You know what a dream girl looks like for a man? And even though some may disagree in the comments, deep down they know it's true. And that is the
Interior soft girl era.
I've recently been inspired to enter into my soft girl era.
3 steps to actually live your feminine soft life.
Learning how to embrace
3 ways
Shift
to
to
instantly
instantly
radiate
radiate
divine
one
feminine
feminine
energy. Number 1.
Two years ago, Christina Visel was deep in her girlboss era, working at a buzzy beauty brand in San Francisco, thriving in the corporate grind, and posting about her 9 to 5 like it was her personality trait. Fast forward to today, she's flipped the script completely. She's now a full-time soft girl with over 250,000 TikTok followers who tune in for pink-hued reels of cozy dinners and flower-lit movie nights. Yeah, the same woman who once embodied hustle culture is now the poster child of its aesthetic opposite.
No cake, no entry. If you've ever wondered what 1300 cakes looks like, this is it. I hosted a weekend coffee shop in my apartment, and this is everything that I made. I saw someone else do this, and I thought, how fun.
On TikTok, the hashtag softgirl has racked up over 3 billion views. And while the softgirl vibe comes in few flavors, cottagecore princess, cozy gamer, and pastel grandma chic, the central message is always the same. Just slow down, romanticize your life, and embrace the softness over struggle. And think about it, self-care Saturdays, journaling, fuzzy socks, and lighting a candle just to eat a snack?
And in that moment, I decided to do nothing about everything.
It's all cute and dreamy, and also, according to some, kind of a trap. The soft girl doesn't want to disrupt anything. She's not here to scale a startup or to lean in. She wants to slow down, sip oat milk matcha, do her skincare routine at 10 a.m., and maybe walk around her apartment barefoot with a face mask on and some cottagecore lofi playing in the background. And she is done pretending that sacrificing her well-being for a 3% raise is empowerment. And contrast that with the girl boss, the millennial queen bee of the late 2000s. She drank flat whites while burning the candle at both ends. She read Lenin religiously, hustled through her pregnancy and froze her eggs in between meetings, and bragged about 4 a.m. gym sessions. But by 2023, the girl boss dream has collapsed under its own weight. Workplaces laid off girl bosses after years of overwork and loyalty. The hustle era handed us back a bill, and it came with burnout, anxiety, and a hollow sense of achievement. The next generation saw it and said, wow, actually, what if we just didn't? And let's rewind for a second. Before the soft girl was sipping matcha in a puff dress on your For You page, before rose baths and perfectly styled book nooks became aspirational content, there was the soft life, a term that emerged during the pandemic from Nigerian internet slang.
Public service announcement. I am a soft girl. I was born a soft girl, I will die a soft girl. Hard life, if you see me coming, close your eyes. If they sent you to me hard life, tell them that you do not see me. Tell them the person that you want to come and give hardship to was destined a soft girl.
It wasn't about aesthetic or curated femininity. It was about survival, this radical rejection of the idea that Black women have to suffer, hustle, or grind to be worthy.
Black women in corporate, how y'all doing? Y'all all right? Come on, let's take a collective deep breath.
And long before that, in the late 80s, Audre Lorde, the iconic Black lesbian feminist, was already talking about radical self-care. Not in a treat yourself kind of way, but as a political resistance. She wrote, "Caring for myself is not self-indulgence, it is self-preservation, and that is an act of political welfare." And it was revolutionary, and it is still today. But somehow, along the way, it got Instagrammed.
If you just know you're that girl,
Yeah.
you just have no choice but to be that girl. And I feel like I'm that girl.
What if you don't wake up feeling like that girl? How do you be that girl?
You need to go back to sleep and wake back up again so you can feel like that girl.
Softness was once a way of being, now it's a commodity. Today's version, to be honest, is often defined by creamy filters, luxury PR packages, and brand deals. You're not just soft, you are sponsored. And when softness becomes a product, the movement gets sanitized, marketable, and monetized. This is Lauren Foster, a Black soft girl influencer from Philadelphia. Her TikToks? They're dreamy. Corsets, folds of flowers, delicate gowns, and quiet mornings. The aesthetic? It's flawless. But don't be fooled. She's turned her side hustle into a profitable brand. She's worked with Adobe, Poshmark, and Hill House and has earned $40,000 creating content part-time while raising her kids. She even went viral for a video titled, "You Made It to a Black Girl Cottagecore."
And here we go. I hope you're hungry for nothing.
This is my outfit for today, and if you don't like it, don't tell me because I'm very sensitive and it will hurt my feelings.
And the backlash? Also real. People accuse her of acting white or cosplaying colonialism, and some comments are downright racist. Because here's the uncomfortable truth. Softness, when performed by white women, is praised. When black women do it, it's questionable, mocked, or polished. Here's when it gets really controversial. What looks like rebelling against capitalism, quitting the grind and embracing softness, might actually be capitalism in a pastel disguise. Because these soft girl creators, they're not just sipping tea or journaling for vibes, they're actually getting paid. And this soft, effortless lifestyle, yeah, it takes time, and money, and freedom. Some of us are working 2 or 3 jobs to survive, one critic put it. So you're telling me to take a rose bath after my second shift? It's given the kind of aesthetic privilege vibes, you know?
What does it mean to be a soft girl, and is
the soft girl aesthetic started off as something I truly supported. I thought it was our cute way of combating hustle culture, but the more and more that I followed the trend, the more I started to notice its toxicity. The trend started policing our clothing, the way we speak, our mannerisms, and the way that we express ourselves. I also found it very odd at how it targeted black women and labeled almost everything as masculine. Everything started with "this is what men like, this is what men don't like," and it almost started to build us all as trophies without our own thoughts and our own uniqueness.
And even deeper, critics say that this aesthetic upholds the same old sexist and racist ideals, just in softer packaging.
Nothing pisses me off more than when people label black girls, or just women of color in general, as whitewashed. Because literally my whole entire life I've been told I act like a white girl, I talk like a white girl, I dress like a white girl, my taste in music is so white, as a method of like insulting me. And that shit makes you feel so self-conscious because now you're like hyper aware of how you act and how you talk and how you dress, and you become so insecure.
As a black woman, the soft girl aesthetic doesn't work for me, said creator Noir. It's based in white woman culture, and when I see soft girls of color, it feels like they're wearing a mask, trying to play into white identity. So where's the line between reclaiming softness and reinforcing the same old boxes we have always been put in? Like so many trends, the soft girl movement started out with good intentions, rejecting burnout or romanticizing rest, but somewhere between the sponsored candles and curated vulnerability, it got lost in the algorithm.
This whole idea of a soft life hinges on women relying on men to make enough money to support their lifestyle. And that is extremely dangerous because we live in a patriarchal society where capitalism is king. I'm not saying that's absolutely wrong. The problem is that because we live in a patriarchal society where women are oppressed, we often don't have the opportunity or even the space to really explore who we are.
So what is softness really? Is it a mood board of pics and petals? Or is it something more radical, like refusing to let your trauma hurt you? And some of them are actually right. Grinding away at building a career isn't the end-all be-all to the soft girl. In fact, it's almost embarrassing. To them, the pursuit of hustle culture isn't just toxic and damaging, it actively goes against what it means to be a woman. As one TikTok user puts it, the feminine urge to tell women that hustle culture was designed for a 24-hour male cycle, not the 28-day female rhythm, which is why we feel so burnt out and exhausted. You're not broken for not thriving in a world that wasn't made with you in mind. And yeah, in the soft girl culture, rejecting the hustle is a badge of honor. Stepping away from the corporate grind to prioritize joy, self-care, and well-being is the ultimate success. But here's the burning question. Who's funding the soft girl lifestyle? And if it's a man, why does rejecting burnout and hustle culture have to translate into women giving up on their financial independence? Is this just a modern-day informal dependency? A throwback to the days when women were told that their value only came from being provided for. And the shift from girl bossing to the soft girling isn't just a trend, it's a cultural U-turn. And while it might come wrapped in some rose-scented candlelit, let's not pretend it's harmless. Because when we talk about the rise of the stay-at-home girlfriend or the TikTok-friendly tread wife, We're not just talking about lifestyle choices, we're talking about deeper and more unsettling pivot, one where softness becomes shorthand for surrendering autonomy in favor of this aestheticized submission.
This is my day in the life as a stay-at-home girlfriend.
It's a new year, so welcome to another episode of A Day in My Life as a 25-year-old stay-at-home girlfriend.
A day in the life of a stay-at-home girlfriend living in Barcelona.
First, I wash off all of the regrets and ickiness away from last year. Then I play with makeup from the $10,000 Sephora haul that my boyfriend got me because I'm obsessed with makeup and have nothing better to do. And this time, the puppy was around, so I made sure to take her to her favorite park.
And at first glance, sure, it looks charming. Home cooking meals, perfectly made beds, a life with time for afternoon tea and a skincare routine longer than your resume. But when you look closer, you'll find something a little bit less cute. A quiet return to an old school gender roles. The kind that tell women their worth is how well they care for others, not themselves.
Why is being a stay-at-home mom and depending on a man becoming a trend again? Didn't we learn from our grandparents and our parents and literally all around the world that this isn't the best plan? I love seeing women be feminine. I love to see them at home. I love to see them fucking shopping and going to Pilates and just living their life as they should. But I do really hope 3 things. 1, that you either have an education or you have work experience. Because let's say something goes south, right? Shit doesn't work out. He leaves you. You were fully depending on that man for finances, for a home, for food, for clothes, and now everything is gone. What are you going to do? Are you able to depend on yourself without him, is my question. 2, do you know about your finances? Are you in a joint account? Do you know do you have your own account? Do you have your own money that you potentially could be saving? Do you have your own business? Do you have something going on for you that allows you to be financially independent if need be? And 3, I just hope that the overall relationship isn't toxic in the sense that nothing is being held over your head. But these are things that need to be considered if we're going to go ahead and glamorize this shit in this way. All I've literally been seeing is women being like, spend a day with me as a stay-at-home wife or as a stay-at-home girlfriend. And then they'll just go shopping and enjoy their life. And I fucking love that for you. But I feel like we should also be remembering that a man is really not dependable. Truly not dependable.
The soft girl lifestyle offers an escape hatch, a world where everything looks serene and gentle, where everything is curated and under control. But for many, it's just that, a fantasy, and chasing that fantasy can become its own kind of prison. Because if we're not careful, we're replacing one form of pressure to be successful, productive, and flawless with another, to be soft, dreamy, and delicate. Still performative, still exhausting, and still based on rules that don't leave much room for real, messy humanity. And okay, here's the most interesting part. Now, a lot of you might be asking me, what does a pick-me girl have to do with the soft girl? And how do these seemingly opposite aesthetics come from the same place? Okay, let's break it down. You know the pick-me girl, and if you haven't checked out my video that I've made previously, you can go ahead and do so right now. She's not like other girls, she's chill, low maintenance, would rather talk about football than feelings. She'll roll her eyes at makeup and gossip and giggle about how she just gets along better with the guys. But here's the catch. This cool girl persona, it's not freedom, it's a real performance. A calculated one built to win male validation by throwing other women under the bus. And if being one of the boys is how she gets picked, she'll do it, even if it means rejecting her own complexity to play a simplified, more palatable role. What is that really? It's being chosen, just dressed up as not caring. Now let's swing to the other side of the spectrum and meet the soft girl. All pastels, vanilla-scented candles, dairy skin, and emotional availability. She's cozy, gentle, and delicate, the human version of a Pinterest board. And yes, she's leaned all the way into her femininity. But here's the plot twist. She's doing the exact same thing the pick-me girl is doing, just with a different aesthetic. The pick-me girl says, I'm not like other girls. The soft girl says, I'm exactly what every man dreams of. And yet, both are still asking the same question underneath it all. How can I be the girl who gets noticed? Neither is challenging the system, they're just choosing different methods of survival within it. They're acting out roles created by a culture that values women not for who they really are, but for how well they can fit into the script.
Society's standards for women aren't that bad. You're called too fat, so you lose the weight. Now that you've lost the weight, you're too skinny. You need to pack on the pounds. They say you have imperfect skin, and you should cover that up. So you choose to wear makeup, and now you're a clown. You should really be body positive because little girls are watching. So you wear what makes you feel pretty, but what you're wearing is inappropriate. You're told you should age gracefully, but you have too many wrinkles. So you get Botox, and now you're fake. You work full time, so you're an uninvolved mom. but you stay at home with your babies, and that makes you lazy. You stand up for what you believe in, but that makes you too bold. So of course you stay silent, and that makes you weak. You don't have a job and live off one income. That means you're mooching off your husband. But if you're the breadwinner, you're undermining your spouse. Cooking, cleaning, and doing the laundry makes you old school. But hiring out that help means you aren't fulfilling your job as a woman. You share your faith and told you're pushing your religion. You choose not to share, and you're not being God-fearing. You're told you're a coward for not leaving that toxic relationship. So you leave that relationship, now you've destroyed your family. Makes total sense, doesn't it?
And let's zoom out for a moment. The pygmy girl gets attention by rejecting traditional femininity. The soft girl gets attention by embracing it, sweet, caring, and hyper-feminine. But both of them are still performing for approval, especially male approval. One says, "Look how chill I am." The other says, "Look how soft and nurturing I am." And both are reacting to the same pressure, to be desirable, to be chosen, to be the kind of woman men want, in different ways. And it's not about femininity or masculinity, it's about adaptation to a system that teaches women to define their worth through someone else's gaze. And softness isn't the real problem. Emotional vulnerability, rest, and gentleness, those are beautiful human things. But when the soft girl aesthetic becomes a strategy to avoid burnout or get picked, when she swaps hustle culture for a kind of curated feminine dependency, like becoming a stay-at-home girlfriend or treadwife, then we have to ask, is this softness actually healing us or just putting us back into a more aesthetic version of the same box? Because whether you're scrubbing away your identity to be cool or low maintenance, or wrapping it in a pink bow and calling it softness, it's still about being palatable. It's still about shaping yourself for someone else. And here's the real issue. We're not judging softness or chillness or homemaking or ambition. What we're questioning is intent. Because when your identity, whether pygmy girl or soft girl, is built on being seen, liked, or approved by others, especially men, it becomes just another kind of performance. The real rebellion isn't choosing one side of the spectrum, it's stepping off the stage entirely. Empowerment doesn't look like being the right kind of woman. It looks like being your whole damn self, even if it's messy, contradicting, hard to categorize, or doesn't photograph well. And let's be real, you don't have to be the pygmy girl, the soft girl to have worth. You don't have to distance yourself from other women or wrap yourself in pastels. You just have to be you, without the pressure to perform or be palatable. So ask yourself, who are you when no one is watching? Not the version that's most likable, not the one that fits into the cute aesthetic, not the one that gets picked. Just you, with all your nuances, your contradictions, your realness, because the real power is not in being chosen, it's in choosing yourself. And the truth is, the most revolutionary thing a woman can do is stop performing and start being real.